They're off in the mile Tonybet Solonaway Stakes. It's a Group 2. It's Johan and Skukuza, the overseas runners, followed by Expanded, who's improved on the inside, followed by Scotty Champ and Alakazi, and then Comanche Brave, Lord Masseusa, Chicago Critic. Trading the field is the runner-up of last year, Murtagh. Racing towards the 6 furlong point as they complete the opening quarter. Wide apart, Johan, Ronan Whelan, and running the rail Expanded and Christophe Soumillon, followed by Skukuza and Chris Hayes. These three covered by over 2.5 lengths. Then Alakazi, who's disputing fourth with Scotty Champ, and Comanche Brave, Chicago Critic, Lord Masseusa, and Murtagh. Johan shifts on a length in front of Skukuza. In third is Expanded, less than 2 lengths back to Alakazi. And then Scotty Champ and Comanche Brave with, towards the back end of the field, Lord Masseusa, Chicago Critic, and Murtagh. Very few changes, 3 furlongs to go. The Tonybet Solonaway Stakes Group 2, and it's Johan who hits the straight less than a length in front of Skukuza. Driven is Expanded. Chicago Critics got a good run through on the inside. Then Alakazi, Scotty Champ next, and Comanche Brave racing to the final furlong. They're bunching up. Skukuza just hits the front. From Alakazi mounting a challenge over the far side. Chicago Critic, then Expanded. Comanche Brave, Johann's tied up, and then Murtagh, Scotty Champ, Lord Masseusa. Alakazi leads in the closing stages and moves on going to the line. It's perfect timing for Ben Coen and Johnny Murtagh. Alakazi won the Solonaway from Murtagh, Comanche Brave, Skukuza.
Johnny Murtagh in double form here on the opening day of the Irish Champions Festival weekend. Alakazi, a horse the trainers had a lot of faith in all the way through, has belatedly doubled his career tally here. He's been running well in defeat in good races so far this season, since that maiden success back in April, and nicely positioned. Congratulations from Aidan O'Brien there. Johnny, of course, was the main man in Ballydoyle for many years, and Don, he'll be thoroughly enjoying his afternoon, and of course Zaran coming up in the big one.
Yeah, exactly. Look, brilliant afternoon for Johnny Murtagh so far, as it is for Carl Burke, but as you said, Gary, Johnny has always had a lot of faith in this horse, Alakazi. He finished second behind Skukuza in the listed race at the current Irish Derby weekend, and then last time here in the Desmond Stakes he stayed on to finish a half a length behind Johan. He's reversed places with Johan today, and Ben Coen always had him in a good position, not too far off the pace. He's brought him towards the near side early in the home straight, and he's asked him to go on, and he's really picked up. He's strong all the way to the line. He's a horse who he shapes like he'll get further than this. His dam's a half sister to Alashar, who got 9.5 furlongs, and Alakazi, yeah, he's gone to the line strongly. It's only his 6th run as well, so lots of potential upside to him too.
Interesting early part of the race here. Just keep your eye on Christophe Soumillon on Expanded in the Tabor colours. He decides to press forward. Johan was cutting out the early running, but Christophe presses forward and he sticks to the inside through the first couple of furlongs. Don, everyone else keeping well off the rail. Christophe eventually brings Expanded out to join the others nearing the end of the back straight, and ultimately Expanded hasn't played much of a part in the finish, but it's kind of difficult to know what the jockeys are going to do today, isn't it, in terms of track position?
Yeah, exactly. Like even early in the home straight, they went closer towards the inside than they had done in the previous 2 races, and then they ended up kind of making the way over outside again. Yeah, see it on the overhead shots there. But Johan got out in front, Gary, like we thought he might. He set the pace on the run wheel, and he made all the running in the Desmond Stakes the last day. He's lasted in front for a while. You've got Expanded in behind him, Skukuza in behind him, and Ben Coen just now starting to angle Alakazi out from behind Chris Hayes on Skukuza. The Chicago Critic, he travelled well into his race as well. On the inside, he got a gap on the inside. He's probably not on the best of the ground, but he's kept on. But here's where Ben Coen just starts getting lower in the saddle, asking Alakazi to go on. He's go up on the outside of Skukuza, and Skukuza, we know that he's a good horse. Skukuza, he won the Premier Handicap and the listed race, the Celebration Stakes at the Curragh earlier in the season, and he stuck to his task well. And Murtagh, he's run a massive race as well, coming down the near side to run into the places. But Alakazi, yeah, an awful lot to like about this. I can see him going out trip as well, Gary, in time.
Yes, Murtagh quietly ridden today. That's him at the back of the field, matching last year's 2nd place finish here on the subsequent Group 1 winner Diego Velasquez. And Comanche Brave, who was also held up by jockey Gavin Ryan, has put in some good late work to claim minor honours, but Alakazi about to make his moves. Skukuza taking the measure of fellow British trained runner Johan, but Alakazi quickly got to the front, and from that point on always just looked like he was maybe doing enough. Do you reckon there is more in the locker with this guy, Don?
Oh, I'd say so, yeah. Like he's only getting going now, Gary. Like he won his maiden back in April, and he's run some good races in defeat, kind of threatening more. He finished second against Kukuza in the Celebration Stakes, then he was only beaten a half length by Johan in the Desmond Stakes last time when he was kind of staying on towards the end, and here got a good pace to run at. That suited him well. Fine ride by Ben Coen as well, just had him in the right position, came nice and wide into the home straight over towards the outside, and he had the draw to do that as well, and the track position, and he's probably won with the little in hand as well. Yeah, there's a lot to like about him.
You won't see many better looking horses. He's a really striking colt, this fella, by footsteps in the sand out of the Sea the Stars mare Alaya. And here we are from the tracker cam, just about to really take the race by the scruff of the neck and go on to land Group 2 honours. No doubt it'll be a Group 1 for him next time, Don. And you mentioned a mile and a quarter there. Do you think that could be worth exploring before the year is out?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, even before the year is out. Like he's obviously, he stays a mile really well. He's shaped on a couple of occasions. Definitely last time, like he could appreciate going further. The strongly run mile suits him well on just ground on the easy side of good, and his dam's a half sister to Alashar, who got 10 furlongs, so there's no reason why he wouldn't be able to get 10 furlongs, if not this season, then definitely next season, all going well.
He is in the QE2 at Ascot on British Champions Day next month, and friend often makes that race a fair test of stamina over a mile, but he's a Group 2 winner now, Alakazi, and there are plenty of options for a horse like him. He's going to get a nice reception here too after landing the Tonybet Solonaway Stakes.
Alakazi is the winner, another winner for Johnny Murtagh. He and Carl Burke and Aidan O'Brien, 2-2-2 as we head into the 7th race, the Royal Bahrain Irish Champion Stakes, in which they are all represented. They are the trainers in form. Ben Coen has ridden Alakazi to victory, and you fancy that ground at Leopardstown is now drying quite significantly. I don't think we're going to be too far off decent ground for the Royal Bahrain Irish Champion Stakes. That you'd have thought will be in the favour of Delacroix. And this horse, Alakazi, has returned at 7-2. Murtagh 16-1 in second place. And in third was Comanche Brave at 11-1 for Donica O'Brien and Gavin Ryan. Length and a quarter and a nose the distances, and 9 ran in the absence of Copacabana Sands. Take it from the outset with Dave Nevison, who's been enjoying this with me in the studio. My first thought was, having fancied Skukuza, he was a bit keen. Pale blue.
He was a bit keen just after now. He just gets fired up as he goes across the road. He just gets a little bit keen.
There's no cover, has he?
And the jockey's trying to pull him back, but he wants to go, and he would just run out of a 1-2-3 placing, and I just wonder whether that and the fact that he hung a little, his winning chance might have gone then. I mean, the thing about this race for me is that Alakazi, the 3-year-old, has justified favouritism and done it in good style, but the other horses that were attempting to come back, the likes of Score the Champ and Expanded, ran okay for a while, but I don't think they did their generation much, or their own case much. But it was it was a good ride on a well-fancied, very consistent horse by Ben Coen, kicking, and at the time that we've seen, Skukuza kicked at the right time. I just don't think it had enough left to respond to a horse who's clearly on the improve.
I think we know what's going to happen in the Irish Champions Stakes, don't we? I assume that they're going to be using the full width.
Absolutely.
I'm imagining we're not going to get a load of scrimmaging over on the far rail like we sometimes do. This is what I'm deducing from what's happened so far. There might be a bit of a dash to the hair rail, and we've seen that before.
Yeah, and Delacroix can finish. There was one point in the Epsom Derby I thought he was flying through. He has got a turn of foot.
Oh, for sure.
If he can get on that stands rail, I think that could be the the making of the race for him.
Yeah, I think those of us who've handicapped the Royal Bahrain Irish Champion Stakes as though it is going to be run in a quagmire might have to revisit. This is our feature race, and it's up next.
Watch live racing now on racingtv.com.